Today on Games Up, we will be taking a closer look at Montana, the new worker placement and settlement building game designed by Rüdiger Dorn and published by White Goblin Games. In Montana, you will be racing against your competitors to be the first settler to build all of your settlements. The required number of landscape tiles, depending on player number, are laid out to create the landscape board. Players take turns completing one of 3 possible actions. Recruit. A player can gain workers by spinning the recruitment wheel. The 2 indicated workers come onto the player's board. The player can choose to spend grain to advance the wheel arrow to gain 2 additional workers. Work. A player may send workers to one area of the city to gain resources or money. The player can use one worker of the indicated color to activate a large, unoccupied space at the mine, quarry, grain fields, or farmland. They may also spend another worker to receive the bonus on the right. 2 workers of any color may instead be used to activate a space. The player then pays the indicated amount of money to receive the indicated amount of goods. To gain money, the player may send workers of any color to an unoccupied space at the bank. Once all large worker spaces in a region are occupied, the workers are removed and all spaces become available again. The player may also go to the city to trade pumpkins for upgrading or gaining resources. The player places their contractor on one space in a desired row and receives a pumpkin. Then all other players may also choose to go to the city. Players can outbid one another in a row to gain the indicated resources and/or upgrade bonuses. Once all players have selected a row or have passed, they then pay the indicated number of pumpkins to receive their reward. Build. The active player may choose to build up to 3 of their settlements on the landscape board. They must build adjacent to either the starting tile or another settlement tile of any color. The cost of building is shown on each hexagonal space. Spaces with 2 houses allow you to put down 2 settlements on that space for only 1 action and the indicated cost. When a player has built 4 settlements in a straight line, they may place an extra 5th settlement on the last space, free of cost. Players gain a cow when building on a space with a cow. When a player is the first to build near water, they receive the canteen token. For the 4th action, players can choose to spend a cow for either a resource, coins, or a worker any number of times during their turn. The canteen can be spent by the player at the end of any own turn to immediately take a second turn. The game ends when one player has built all of their settlements. Montana is designed by Rüdiger Dorn, who is known for games like Karuba, Las Vegas, and Istanbul. Istanbul is a popular gateway grid movement game in which you're racing to gather a specific number of diamonds before your opponents. Montana implements this racing aspect, but now all players are competing to be the first to build all of their settlements. There are no victory points that you accumulate along the way. It's really just the fastest builder takes all of the glory. So let's take a closer look and see what qualities make Montana such a great game. First off, Montana has beautiful, high-quality components and attractive artwork from Clayman's fronts. We love the large player boards and the detailed wooden workers and resources, especially the little pumpkins. The game scales well and plays great at all player counts. The landscape board, where you're building up your settlements, is adjusted based on player number. We really enjoyed the game at 2 players. But there's definitely more interaction, and you have to pay attention to the building strategies of more people at the higher player counts. There's a good amount of variability in the game. The landscape tiles are randomly set up at the beginning of the game, and so this can lead to always slightly different starting building conditions based on where the starting tile is placed. You can even customize your starting board. You could deliberately place the starting tile in a region with very expensive building requirements, like the large upgraded stone and copper, so that the first building rounds will take a while to ramp up to. Or you can place the starting tile in a region with more accessible building requirements, like just a few standard resources, and then the building will begin quite quickly. We would have liked to see some recommended landscape board setups included in the rulebook, ones for beginners and for more advanced ones, but this is just a minor detail. Montana is very quick. It plays in 30 to 45 minutes, and it is easy to teach to new players, and so it is a game that can make it to the table quickly and relatively effortlessly. We find that it fits this unique niche of a game that is fast and well-paced, but not too simple. There are plenty of decisions to make and optimal moves to try to string together. We feel that Montana is a game that can be played with anyone, from new gamers with a little bit of guidance, up to more experienced gamers. It is an amazing gateway Euro worker placement game, but it still has enough substance that more experienced gamers will still really enjoy it and find it engaging and fulfilling. The rules are well written, except for one major problem that we found confusing and seemed to be a problem for others based on the Montana Board Game Geek forums. It is not stated clearly in the rules that you can only send workers to one region of the worker board on your turn. We were first thinking that maybe you could use all of your workers on one turn in multiple regions, but that is not the case. This was clarified in the Montana Rules Forum on Board Game Geek, which is linked in the video description below, and can hopefully be remedied before the game is released at Essen. Because playing the game incorrectly definitely changes the flow of the game. And the main flow of the game is simple. You gather your workers, then send them out to buy resources, and then use those resources to build your settlements. And you want to go through this cycle most efficiently so that you are faster than your fellow builders. And these actions fit really well together and flow smoothly. The game really clicked for us and moves along nicely. You either collect some new workers, build, or go to exactly one spot in the city. All of your options are visible on the board, and there are no rules which are easily forgotten or frequently misunderstood. You can explain the game and start right away without having to look back at small little details which bog down the game. If there is one action which is not as well implemented as the others, it's the city action. In the city, you trade pumpkins for upgrading stone and copper or for gathering more resources. We rarely ever outbid one another on the city rows for different bonus actions, but more vigorous use of this auction system might be dependent on your gaming group. The second point is that activating the city means that everyone can take part in your action. If gaining a pumpkin and choosing a row first is really enough of an incentive, we're still not sure about that. Overall, the city is an important place to go to win the game. It's the only spot where you can get large stone and copper resources, and that is also why normally in the end people use it when not many other players can also take advantage of the action. That would be because they don't have enough pumpkins. Therefore, the city definitely works for us, but it is still the one action space which didn't fit perfectly into the whole picture. In order to win the game, you almost certainly need to make use of the tiles with 2 house symbols, or to go for building a straight line of 4 settlements. This lets you put down additional settlements without spending more resources or actions. We really like this mechanism because it gives you an awesome feeling when you can build up to 6 settlements instead of just 3 in one turn. But such a move can, of course, also end the game very abruptly, and then only one player is sitting there smiling, basking in their victory. The other players might feel frustrated, but hopefully they'll want to play another round right away, because again, the game is quite quick. And next time, all players will have to make sure to take a closer look at the landscape board, because such mega moves can normally be blocked and anticipated by other players. We think Montana is excellent and really provides a fluid and exciting gaming experience. This is our first highlight from Essen, and we're really happy that it's such a great one. We would recommend Montana to people who enjoy worker placement games and who are looking for a game that they can use to introduce the worker placement mechanism to really anyone. So definitely go and check out Montana. We highly recommend it. Thank you for watching Games Up. See you next time.